Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Midnight Show. It is a dark and cold night here in Denmark. I was just taking the dogs out before. It is absolutely freezing. But that's all going on out there. In here, it's nice and it's toasty, and I have been knitting up a storm. I have been plucking away at my cat number 6. Let me just try to, there you go. Look at this. It is just coming along beautifully. Children's sweaters is definitely the way to go for a knitathon. But yeah, I did separate for the sleeves just as the concert over at the Playful Knitter was ending. Then I had to take a little break. I had to put down my knitting and go feed myself. I needed something just a little more substantial than my endless array of snacks. So yeah, I had something to eat. I picked up my knitting again, and I am a couple of inches into the body. Still not feeling tired, so who knows how far I am gonna get on this. For the knitathon, I always try to plan ahead just a little bit. Yeah, someone commented that it's a beautiful green color. It really is. It's just amazing. Yeah. I am trying to plan ahead in the sense that I know that in the beginning of the knitathon, when I'm all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I want to work on something that's just a little bit complicated. So maybe I'm going to need some color work, some lace or textured stitches, or maybe I just want an interesting construction. On this one, it's the neckline. I won't say that it's fiddly, only it is a little bit fiddly, and you definitely want to have a clear head when you're working this neckline. So that was interesting to do early in the day. Come the late hours of the night, nothing beats some plain old stockinette stitch in the round, and that is what I am doing here. So thoroughly enjoying this, and I'm really excited to see just how far I'm gonna get. But as I also said earlier, I want to show you some of the other things that I'm working on. I have a couple of whips. I even have an FO. And I shouldn't be so excited about this finished object because a pair of socks that just took me a little bit more than a year to finish. I cast these on last year in November, or maybe it was even in October. For sure, it was some yarn that I picked up over in Texas. It is just some ratia. I think the colorway name is Snowflake or something like that. I don't have the ball band anymore, but it was this 100-gram ball. And so what I did, because I wanted really long socks to use with the skirts and dresses, so I used another yarn to make the ribbing up here. And then I just knit a tube until I had 50 grams left in the ball, because then I knew that I could make the socks the same length. Then I added a toe, and later I went back and put in an afterthought heel. And actually, they are the perfect length for me. They really fit me very, very well. They're a bit long in the foot, but that's okay. They fit me very well on the leg here. I did cast on a few extra stitches, 4 more stitches than I usually would for my size, just because my leg is thicker up here than it is at the ankle. So I decreased those stitches out as I was knitting the tube, and yeah, I placed stitch markers when I did the decreases so that I could mimic the whole thing on the other sock. And as you can see, the stripes are not the same, they're reversed. I didn't use a stretchy cast on. I just used the regular, what do you call it? Krydsopslag in Danish. Long tail cast on, just a regular long tail cast on, but there's plenty of stretch to this one. I'm not too fond of the stretchy cast-ons. I often think that they won't look so tidy. So and this one I can easily get over my leg. So I am very proud. Probably also a little more so than I'm supposed to be, because a pair of socks shouldn't take 1 year to finish. I think we can all agree on that. But hey, they're great socks. And I clearly haven't blocked these. They're socks. I'm going to block them with my feet, and that'll all be good, I'm sure. I do have another pair of socks that I hope to finish just a little faster than these. They're here in the cutest little project bag. It's a bit big for a sock project, but I just love this bag so much. It is from my friend Lizzie over in Texas. She does have an Etsy shop. Oh, here we have it. Her Etsy shop is Cozy Sky Company. I think you can see it here. I love this. It is so cute. It is, to me, it's Christmassy. It's also autumnal with the mushroom and everything. But yeah, it's a festive bag to me. And inside, I have my marled socks. And just look at that. Ooh, and there's two. What do you know? I finished though. I almost finished these. I just need to put in afterthought heels again. Afterthought heels are, that's my preferred method, because putting in a heel as I'm knitting, it really messes up my gauge. So it's much easier for me to just knit a tube and then come back later and pick up stitches and add the heel. These are not long socks, they're shorties. I am debating whether to use the same color here for the heels, or whether to just use a dark gray or a black. TBD. Probably leaning more towards the gray heels. I love the grays. I couldn't live in Denmark if I didn't love the grays. Gray is a beautiful color. So yeah, hopefully on my next regular episode, I can show you another finished pair of socks and be overly proud with those. I am also working, and that's actually where the bulk of my knitting time lately has gone. I am working on this, the Festive yoke cardigan. This is a pattern by Skeindeer Knits that I am modifying the life out of. I wanted to match my personal preferences and the yarn that I had available, and it is turning out beautifully. So the first thing I did was obviously I needed to do something about the size, because the yarn that I'm using is a much thicker yarn than what is recommended in the pattern. I am using some drops air. I don't even have a bowl to show you, but I have this little thing here, and you can see the nature of this yarn. It is a blow yarn, which means that the construction of the yarn, it's a tube, and then fibers are blown into the tube, which means that it is very light. Loads of air is trapped inside this strand. It's kind of warm, but it regulates, in my opinion, temperature really well. There are some characteristics to the blow yarn that you want to take into consideration when you're working with it. It does have a tendency to pull up, to become wider and shorter. Like most superwash merinos, they will grow lengthwise, whereas the blow yarns, they will tend to grow widthwise. So this is not as wide as I would usually have knitted, but I know that it's going to grow in blocking and with wear. So I had to go into the pattern and check my gauge, check the number of stitches for the different sizes, and I figured out that if I went down a couple of sizes, then I would get the stitch count that I would need for my bust circumference. And yeah, it fits me. It fits me like a glove. So, so happy about that. I also, and you can see that now, I have changed the neckline and the button band. In the original pattern, you stick all the way up. So you knit the sweater with the neckline, and then you stick it, and then you pick up stitches for the button band and you work them this way out. So you will have how do I explain that? I prefer when my button bands go all the way up into the neckline and are like an integrated part of the neckline. I think that's a cleaner look. So I changed that. I simply cast on some more stitches for the neckline, and then I placed some of the stitches on hold here and later used those to knit the button band. And you can see over here I am working on the second button band, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I have picked up all of the stitches. I always do that before I stick, just so that I don't have to pull too much on the sticking stitches. And now I am gonna place these stitches that I put on hold. I am gonna place them on a needle, and then I'm gonna knit the button band and at the same time attach it to the front of the cardigan. And after that, I just have one more sleeve to go. You can see a lot of little progress keepers here marking all of my decreases for the sleeve. I just, when I knit the first sleeve, keep trying it on, and then I add stitch markers so that I can replicate it on the second sleeve. But yeah, I love this cardigan. It is so Christmassy, but it's not overly Christmassy. I could use this all winter long. It's not screaming Christmas. And actually, as I've been knitting this, I want an even more Christmassy cardigan. I want to make a cardigan where I change the colors around so that I make the red one my main color and then add some color work with the brown. I am thinking maybe to have, she does have in the pattern, she provides a multitude of charts with all different kinds of motifs. And she does have some with reindeers. I thought that would be beautiful with just a row of reindeers and then of just a little something around them. So there's definitely gonna be more festive yoke cardigans in my life because this has been such a fun to knit. It was my birthday cast on. And for reference, my birthday is November 8th. I didn't cast it on until the 10th because the 8th and the 9th were just filled with celebrations. But on the 9th, we just had a long day on the couch and I cast this one on and yeah, it is flying by. So probably gonna cast on another one as soon as I finish this one. I really enjoy working with the Drops Air. I haven't worked with it for a while. I don't know why, because it is a lovely yarn. It is so soft. And as I said, I find that it regulates your body temperature nicely. It does pill a lot. It's a soft yarn. It'll pill. That's just the nature of soft yarns. The softer the yarns, the heavier the pilling. It's like a neutral Christmas sweater. Yes, it really is. It's a neutral Christmas sweater. That's the perfect expression for this one. Yeah, so it is going to pill. That's just how it is. I have a little comb and I will just comb it over every now and then and it's all good. No worries. The last thing that I am working on is in a bag from another friend from Bitten, who also donated a couple of bags for the prizes for this knitathon. She gave me a set of Christmassy bags. Look at it. Oh, I love it. I love anything Christmassy. So, yeah. Inside of this is an old sweater of mine, or old. It's a sweater that I knit in the spring. It is my CDCO 23, my Christmas Day cast on from 2023. And when I first knitted, I made a short sleeve version because it was in the spring. I wanted a sweater that I could use in the spring and the summer. It's knit in one strand of Holst Super Soft, so it is very light and airy, quite drapey. But now I've decided I want a longer sleeves. So I picked out the bind off, put the stitches back on the needles, and I am knitting around in one by one twisted rib. See, I've had funnier knits. I've had more interesting knits. But I just know that I'm gonna love this sweater to death. I have been loving it all spring, all summer, and I would love to wear this for Christmas as well. So I'm just gonna stick to it. I am just gonna, and I'm doing what I also did on my Festive yoke cardigan, marking my decreases with some stitch markers. And that actually gives me a chance to show you one of the beautiful stitch markers from Ivana, Republic of May. She sent me a beautiful set of stitch markers, and this one is one of them. And here you can also see how light her stitch markers are. They're not going to pull on the fabric, not even a light fabric like this one. There's also a few of my own Christmas stitch markers. In my house, Christmas starts on November 9. I don't share my birthday, but after that, it's fair game. So I have all the Christmas project bags and stitch markers and whatnot. And I actually think that I am gonna set aside a specific time of day to work on this sweater, because it's not gonna happen if I don't do something about it. It's not something that I'm just picking up just because I want to work on it. So maybe I should set aside some of my morning knitting or some of my evening knitting. I have these knitting slots throughout the day, and I think I'm going to dedicate one of these slots to this sweater. Yeah. Oh, I see that Lizzie, uh, the maker of this bag, is actually here in the chat. Hi, Lizzie. Maybe you want to share a link to your Etsy shop, because your bags are so beautiful. So that is what I am working on currently. Usually in November, I wanna finish up all of my whips. I wanna clear my needles before Advent knitting rolls around. Advent crochet is it often in my case. I don't know that that's gonna happen this year, and it's okay. And, you know, there's no expiration date on your whips. They'll be fine. They'll hold. You don't even have to put them in the fridge. They're going to be just fine and ready for you to pick them up again in January. I do want to reserve December for Advent projects, for making small gifts, and for all the small whimsical things that just brings me so much joy. But yeah, there's a few things that I want to finish before that. I also said that I would do a little Q&A here in this section. And I actually asked some days ago, do you know if you will do Vlogmas this year? Yes, I will. I will be doing Vlogmas. I had so much fun doing Vlogmas last year. Oh my goodness, it just added to my Christmas joy so much that I think it's the whole process of seeking out everything that is cozy and nice and beautiful and interesting. Then you pay so much more attention to all the little unassuming joys of life. So yeah, definitely we'll be doing Vlogmas again. Thanks for asking. That was really nice. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a little Q&A here. I did post on Instagram asking if you had any questions, and I got some really good questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Let's see. The first one is, what inspires you in making your designs? And yeah, I've gotten this question before, and I always want to answer something really cool like nature, beautiful nature, the drama, it's not true. What inspires my designs are mainly man-made things, buildings, architecture, churches especially. There are so many intricate details that I can feel them growing in me and coming out in the form of some kind of design. Also, something that drives a lot of the designing that I do is actually, what do I need? What do I want to wear? Just because knitting something that is not something that you're excited about. A lot of work goes into designing a knitting pattern. You're gonna spend many hours with that pattern. So I want it to be something that I am personally excited about. So yeah, it's basically what I need in my wardrobe. And let's just be honest, I don't need more knitwear. I want more knitwear. I can never have enough, it seems. But that, and then for the actual designs, it is often man-made things that inspire me. Floor tiles or the construction of a roof and mosaics, stained glass windows, all those things really tend to grow inside my mind, and they need to come out of my hands. So there's another question here. It says, I guess I have two questions, which is awesome. Thank you for that. Question number one, could you please talk more about knitting as a meditation practice? I was fascinated by your story of becoming a Buddhist monk in a modern world and loved that you shared on YouTube how you performed the name ceremony / baptism for your grandson. Well, thank you. I really enjoyed sharing that special ceremony. It is something that I've been doing for a couple of the grandchildren, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, back in 2000, I converted to Buddhism, and I don't have levels of commitment. I'm either in or out. So very soon I knew that, yeah, I'm in. So I decided to train as a Buddhist monk in a traditional temple in the Japanese tradition. I trained for 12 years to get my ordination as a Buddhist minister. As I was doing that, I was also doing a master's degree on the Sunderland University over in England in Buddhist studies. So it was pretty much my life for many years. I was also running a temple here in Denmark, and yeah, that was my everything. I don't teach anymore. Buddhism is still how I frame the world. It is still the lens that I view experience through. I also still have an active meditation practice. I don't think I could ever let go of that. Sometimes if I have been telling myself that I'm too busy, and haven't taken the time for my meditation, then I will wake up one morning and I will feel just a very subtle, tiny change, like I'm not completely synchronized with the world. Like there's just this little grind. I feel just a little bit separated from the world. And I realize it quickly. I also recognize it. That's how I used to live, with this subtle sense of separation. I don't want to live like that. I want to immerse myself fully in the world and in the experience, whatever it may be. So yeah, still have a very active Buddhist practice. I did share at some point about knitting as a meditation practice. That is not a new idea. It's not something that I came up with. There's a long tradition of integrating crafts and arts into your mindfulness practice or your meditation practice. Think of the tea ceremony or the flower arrangement, the ikebana, or the calligraphy. There are so many so many ways of expressing yourself in the form of a meditation. So I can go on forever, so someone probably needs to pull the plug on me at some point. But generally speaking, meditation falls into two categories. So there's one set of meditation instructions that are meant to calm the mind and to focus the mind, and one set that is of a more inquiring, investigating nature. So for knitting meditation, definitely the first category is best. It is such a nice tool to calm the mind, to just sit there and just knit, to immerse yourself in the knitting, to become one with your knitting. So very often when we knit and think, we knit and daydream, we knit and chat. Maybe we knit and watch television. We knit and do a lot of things. But what you want to do here is only knit. And that's a little bit more difficult than it sounds. But just remind yourself, we call it a practice for a reason. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're just supposed to practice. You're supposed to try to train your mind to stay on whatever object you want it to stay on. And in this case, you use your knitting as this anchor to pull your mind back when it goes out searching for all the new and shiny. Oh, squirrel, right? So you can try that. It's very, very simple. I do recommend that you set a timer, because if you don't, then after 2 minutes, you're going to think, oh, at least half an hour passed. And after 15 minutes, you're going to be, where did those 15 minutes go? So set a timer and just sit and knit and do nothing else but sitting and knitting. That wasn't too bad. I just get carried away when I talk about something that I am so excited for. The other question was, how does your spiritual or religious practice influence your knitting design, or does it happen the other way around? So I think that my spiritual practice does inform my design in the way that my sense of aesthetics were affected a lot by all those years training in temples in the Japanese tradition. So I tend to steer clear of the highly embellished or very intricate designs. I usually lean more towards the simple and the plain, and then just have all the magic happening in the details. Also, I did do one design that I was inspired by the Buddhist robes, which are two-dimensional. Traditional Japanese clothes are two-dimensional. So my snowflower vest is a completely two-dimensional design. So that was directly inspired by that. Another question that I got was, could you please dedicate one video to discuss styling winter knits? I am having difficulty choosing a winter coat which would accommodate the bulky garment, won't make me look giant, and won't be too heavy. It would be so great if people in the knitting community would pick up this subject. I agree. We need to talk much more about how we style our knits. I will say, however, that me as a Danish person, I'm probably not the right one to ask about how to avoid bulk, because we bulk up. We just add layer after layer, and there's gonna be bulk. But everybody looks like that. We look like these little snowmen, and that's okay. Maybe one thing I think a lot of us think about is balancing out our outfits. So if we do have a bulky sweater and a giant coat, then maybe we don't want to add a giant scarf and a hat with a huge pom-pom and a big bag and some wide-legged pants. Maybe we want to balance everything out a little. When it's not really cold, what I like to do is use my lighter jackets, like a leather jacket or a blazer, and just layer some knitwear on top of it. There are either I will use like the snowflower vest that we just talked about. This one I will wear over a jean jacket or a leather jacket or something like that. That just adds some extra warmth and some interest to the outfit. This one, my vesty thing, even in this photo, I am wearing it over a blazer. I love to use that over my lighter coats just to give that little extra warmth so that I don't have to pull out the big heavy coats until it's absolutely necessary. So I guess my tip is one, balancing your outfit, trying to think about how much bulk you're adding if you're doing it head to toe. And two, try to layer your knitwear inside and on top of your coats and jackets. It just looks kind of cool and a little unexpected. So I do have a couple more questions. Let's do one more. Someone asked me, is there somewhere a picture library of your knits? Would you consider producing something like that? With that amount of videos and growing, it is hard to find items which caught our attention. Maybe such a portfolio would be useful for yourself too. And that is a brilliant idea. But knowing myself, I'm probably not going to get around to doing that. I wish that I was the kind of person who would put everything on Ravelry and I would have a library of everything that I made. I can't even keep up with just putting down in my planner when I finish something. Every year in January, I start out by, this year I'm going to do it. And yeah. So I can see that it would be useful for me and for everyone else. One thing you can do, if you remember the pattern name and you just want to look at what modifications did I do or what was the color combinations that I looked, then you can actually search in YouTube for Traveling Misknits and then the pattern name. And then the videos featuring that pattern is going to come up. But yeah. You're always welcome to write me if there's a specific pattern that I don't remember the name of that pattern, but the knitting was interesting. So you can always write me. I have my email address listed in the description box below on all of my videos, and you're very welcome to write. So did I talk everyone into their beds now? Is everyone just too tired? It is kind of late. Still, I'm not all that tired. How far have you guys gotten on your knitting? Are you still here for it? As my sensei would say when still awake in Florida, dinner time, yep. And still going strong over there, nice. As my sensei would say when we were pulling weeds in 40 degrees Celsius, are you guys having fun yet? Yeah. only $4.39. Okay. There you go. You're still going on. Yep, that is so nice. In just about 15 minutes, we are gonna be visiting a Knitter's World. Her video is gonna go up there. After that, there's gonna be two YouTubers who are both new to the Knitathon. Their channels are also new to me. I found them on my crochet journey, and I was so excited when they agreed to do the Knitathon with us. It turned out that they're both multi-craftual. They both knit and crochet, so I am going to be so excited. Stay tuned for Michaela and for Chromatic Creations. And after that, there's actually going to be a little bit of a break. So maybe we can get a couple of hours of sleep. Don't forget the amazing prizes that we have for the Knitathon. The way to enter for the prizes is to go to this video when it shows up on my channel. It's gonna look like a regular video. There's gonna be a comment section. If you enter a comment there. Oh, Cookie, you're gonna be here? Yep. There are some people who are really serious about this. I'm in good company. Yeah. Any comment on any of my videos during the Knitathon is going to enter you to win the prizes. And I am going to draw the winners just before the closing ceremony tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central European Time. So just go ahead and comment. I will go until I notice I am making mistakes too often. Yep. That's a sure sign that you're ready to go to bed. Usually I know that it's time to sleep when I start getting really cold and like shaking, and I'm knitting and I'm shaking and I'm like, why? What is going on? Yeah, you're tired. But right now, I'm all energized thanks to you guys. It was so nice hanging out with you. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to the people who asked the great questions. Thank you for all the Knitathon fun. Let me see here. Yes, I will be seeing you in Roskilde. Someone asked, we have a meetup in Roskilde. So if you're in Denmark in December, I think is it December 15? I think so. We're going to meet up at the cutest little coffee shop in Roskilde. I will be talking more about it on my Danish episode, but yeah, I will be there for sure. There's nothing better than meeting up with knitting friends in real life. That was also why I was bummed that I didn't get to go to Rhinebeck this year, but I was in no shape to go to Rhinebeck. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. You are making my life so much happier. So thanks for everyone, and I will see you again later. Bye for now.